Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. Maybe today.
Some sports.
And yeah, change it up a little bit. I'm Chris Witt. With me, as always, Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm much better now. Much better now. I just thought of something that I could talk to you about
Yeah.
because we were going over some show notes before this. And I didn't have it. I like took over the whole thing last week and I have nothing this week except for today. I just thought, do you ever, and I think I know the answer to this because you're like the most laid back, easygoing guy ever, and you never get upset about anything. So,
Unless it's my kids, I get mad at them a lot.
you mad at the kid? Look, having kids is hard. Um, take it from me, a guy who,
That's right. Hey, look, man.
I should know. Um, at work, do you ever get really, really frustrated, really aggravated or mad at work?
Yeah, I don't know what's really mad or aggravated because I have people at work that I have my inside salesperson that is like my not like a coordinator, but like she takes care of everything, right? I get an order sent to me, I send it directly to her. Gotta make a phone call to find out what kind of stock we have. I call her. She knows all the customers, they call her.
Debbie will call her.
Yeah, yeah. So 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 when we have a driver that's sick or that's on vacation, uh, there's three other salesmen that have stuff delivered out of our location. So they'll cut one of my trucks and deliver somebody else's. And I do it all the time. And she gets so mad, so mad. And the dispatcher is her boyfriend.
Hmm. She's mad at him.
Oh, just irate that you're cutting Chris's truck. It's always his truck. You never do anybody else's. It's always his.
Oh.
It's all, and she'll call me hot. You need to say something to them. You got, and I'll be like, if it means that much to you, I will do it. I get paid commission, you get paid salary, but okay. If it means that much to you, I appreciate it, right? I do appreciate it because she really, really,
She's supporting
she's
you there.
very, yes, and she's very good in all those ways, best there is. But that every now and then I'll make a phone call in there and I'll be like, what's going on with this? And they'll be like, well, this happened, this happened. I'm like, are you kidding me again? It's okay. I always stop myself. And she always goes, you're just too nice.
Yeah.
You're just too nice.
Yeah.
So, well, but I've had to go off one time in 10 years at work, one time.
Wow.
And I went ape crazy on a guy and cussed him out and I went and he was yelling at me and I was yelling at him. But what I wanted to get done got done because I don't bitch and complain
Mhm.
every single day.
Yep.
So when it comes out, it turns heads.
Big time. But it's once in 10 years. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I'll get a little irritated with people and they'll hear my voice change
Okay.
and then that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yes, tell me your story.
No, I had a feeling it was going to be like that. I, I, I've been finished with my job for a long time. I have to do something else. I'm to the point that I can actually say I hate it. And,
Mm.
and it's, and today was I was so aggravated. And the worst part is a lot of times, so we don't have we have people working second and third shifts, but we don't have a second or third shift
Management.
planner, right? Which is what I do. So once I leave for the day at 4 o'clock or whatever, emails are piling up, stuff's happening, big problems are happening and stuff. And then I get all that stuff when I come in, right? So all the problems that happen overnight, I'm fielding those in the morning. And this morning was just something happened, got an email asking for something special to be done. We aren't in a good position to be able to do that. And looking into it and everything, I found out that the person who's kind of over me, I don't report to that person, but she, for the manyth time, when I was off on Friday,
Okayed something.
okayed something that I had previously said no to.
Oh.
So every time that happens, Oh God, I get like really aggravated pretty much every day.
That would actually piss me off.
It
That would piss me.
every time it
I said
happens.
no. They knew it was no. When I go again, yeah, yeah.
And the worst thing is I'm the only one that will say no out of all the people that could.
Hmm.
I'm the only one that will say no, so I don't feel like I get any support on that. So, and I also understand why they come back and say it's something for our biggest customer.
Yep.
All right. And so I totally get that you have to maintain that relationship.
Yep. And there's certain things that I get it on that side because when it's for somebody like that, I will make that's the time when I make the call to our dispatcher to our operations manager and I'm like, look, here's the deal. I know that you've already cut the route off. I know you cut it off 2 days ago. What can we move around so I can get this out? Because
Yeah.
I've got to get this out.
Yeah. It's so funny as you started saying that I just realized like the people that make my job the hardest
Me,
are sales number one,
100%. It's me.
customer service
But
number.
you can ask anybody you can ask anybody that works at Fall City Lumber. Out of the three salesmen, I am the easiest one to work with because I've done everything else. I understand when a truck gets cut off, hey, you gotta tell them, look, hey, I can't do it. Just say you can't do it. It's okay to say tell your customer you can't do it. Explain to them why. Man, we truck cut the truck off. They got way too much stuff going on in the which I know the thing that sucks is I know it's not true. Because I go in there at like 3 o'clock and the truck was cut off and nope, everybody's standing around out in the warehouse. Yeah, you could have taken some more tickets. You could have took a couple more orders and got them done. But I get it. You know, don't want to overwork these young kids that don't know how to work and all this other stuff. So yeah, but I give the least amount of issues. The
Mhm.
least amount of issues.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just hard because I know because if I was in that position, if I was in sales or upper
Yeah.
management, I would think differently about it. I know I would.
You wouldn't though, because you do your job. You're doing your job now. So you would think there would be times where you would be like, I know I'm going to get somebody. I know this is going to suck. And this is going to be a phone call I don't want to make because he's not going to want to do it. But you know why. Then you can actually have a better conversation with you,
Yeah.
the planner. You can have a better conversation in calmly explaining why we need it done and what can we move around to make sure it can get done.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. Let's talk about I got other orders. Let's talk about other some of my other orders that are maybe a stock order that can go out an extra day or two,
Mhm.
right? Let's talk about that. Let's kill those.
And they try to do that with us too. It's just with what we do, it's a lot harder to find because there are so many orders that are going on at the same time that are being made or getting ready to be made or all that. Like it's really hard to tell when we move this one in because you're just going to make us no matter what because it's for our biggest customer and you're
Hmm.
just not going to give us a choice to say no. Or I will say no and you will come back and go over my head and
Yep.
they're going to say yes. Um, there's like it's almost impossible to find out like that's going to affect other things. That's going to like delay things a little bit, but it's so hard because there are so many orders happening at one time. It's really hard to pick out which ones it's actually going to affect. It's just going to have some kind of effect on the whole picture.
Sure.
So anyway, it's without boring everybody that I've already done, but
No, but I think everybody deals with that in their job in
yeah,
some form of way.
yeah, yeah.
The going over top, the guy that's always asking for things that are very difficult, and that everybody's got people like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so I was so angry to start the day today, and I like basically didn't speak to anybody the rest of the like
Nice.
I was in the office with like most of the rest of the people in my group, and I barely spoke to anyone. I put usually like I'll put when there are people there, I don't really do it that often. Like, but I'll bring my earbuds, put them in, and put a podcast on or something.
Hmm.
But if I do that, I put in one
So you
earbud
can
so I
still
can make
hear.
sure I still
Yeah.
hear everybody. Today I put in both earbuds for most of the day. I could still hear everybody, but tried to ignore everything and
Uh-huh.
plus like, did I and then like I was so first of all, I'm doing this like my legs are going
Like
just
I
like
do
yours.
all day long.
Yeah. And I was so mad I didn't know what to do with myself. I went outside and I went
Take
outside,
smoke
took a
break.
walk. Yeah, they have this little like walking path. They have this lake. You can walk around the lake and stuff. And so I'm walking around out there, and I do that sometimes when I get really upset, try to
Yeah.
calm myself, get away
Yep.
from it for a minute. And then so I pass this guy that I work with who's walking the other way as I'm coming back, and he's like, "Oh, did you go over to the other building and do this or that?" No, I said, I came out here to cool down actually, and it was like 95 degrees outside. It was blazing hot. So I got back in there, and then I I was basically just still really angry, but now with swamp butt.
Swamp.
But anyway, so I had a
Now
real
I'm
tough
hot and
day.
angry.
Yeah, now I'm hot and angry. I was just so, and it's just, and then I do this big picture thing. It happens almost every day, but today was just a little worse. That I'm like, this is all these problems at work all the time. I'm
Mhm.
so sick of I'm sick of every single detail of this job. It's so much harder than it used to be, and it keeps getting worse. And so then all I think about is that, and I'm just negative and
Yep.
just awful all
Yep.
day long.
Yep.
And then I didn't talk to anybody. So the person that I need to work with the most and that I'm closest with and I love, she was like, I could tell kind of mad at me for being so
Because you were
upset.
irritated. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's the one that that
Okay.
that okayed the stuff. Yeah. But anyway, um, so I just I wondered if you ever got that upset and what you do when you're in that position. What is that one time that
When I went ape crazy and like there was a
wh-
yelling over the phone.
what?
Uh,
Oh, this was over the phone.
this
Okay.
was over the phone. He hung the phone up on me, and I called him back immediately. He didn't answer, and I waited 10 minutes, and I called him back, and he answered the phone like, what? And I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing for lunch tomorrow?" And I'm bringing lunch in, and it's over. That's my way to let you know it's over. We had it out, but for me, it's over immediately. I can't. I It will hang. There are some little things that'll hang on, but it's big stuff. It can't. I can't let that. I can't let it
Yeah.
hang on to me.
It
I
seems like you let when if you do get upset, you let it go pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, we had our when I worked at Remeyer Lumber. There's a day I went to clock in, and I probably told the story before. So I worked like from 10 to 6:30, and everybody else came in at like 7 or 8. But we had this swing shift. So when everybody left at 4, the last 2.5 hours, we loaded all the trucks up, me and two other guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what I did the day before. I don't know what it was, but I was a little punk back then, man. I had a mouth. You know how much I had a mouth. I was a smart ass.
I called you Jimmy Hart, mouth of the South.
Yeah, mouth of the South. And a buddy of mine was the yard foreman, and we hang out all the time. Good buddy of mine, played ball together, go to the bar, everything. And I walk in, he said something, and I chirped right back at him, and he got so mad at me, and I was kind of took me by surprise. But back then, I ain't letting up. Now I know you're mad. Unfortunately, that's one of the times when I get a little more mouthy if I know you're mad, because now I know I've got you now. I have you hooked. And he's screaming at me, and I'm yelling at him, and he says, "You know what? Just go clock out." And I said, "All right." I was right by the time clock. And as I walk back, I said, "All right, see you later, brother." And as I walk over, he goes, "No, go tell Mark, the big boss, what you did." And I walked by and I said, "I'll go tell him that you're a little woman and can't take a joke."
Wow.
And I walked by him and he goes, "Just get on your forklift." And I said, and I went and got on my forklift. We went and had beers that night.
Oh, so he told you to clock out, but then you stayed and worked.
I stayed and worked.
Okay.
And we ended up having beers that night. And I tell that story all the time because that's how, from that day on, no matter how many times I meet, like especially back at the old Remeyer, when we were in the yard, boy, I would get in fights all the time. Mouth, just talking and talking
Mhm.
crap to each other.
Yeah.
And then when somebody would not, it's not my job. Yeah, then I'd get pissed, and because that would piss me off, because I was always the guy that they'd be like, "Chris, will you just go do it?" And of course, I'm going to do it because guess what? That is our job, is to
Yeah.
do what you tell us to do. And then I would start mouthing off to whoever would say that, and from the other side of the yard, I'd scream stuff constantly all day long until it finally would piss them off too much.
Yeah.
I had a guy throw a 2x4 at me one time.
Holy cow! Was it Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
No, no,
Oh,
It was the grass. I was cracking up laughing when it happened. But the biggest thing of that is all of those times within an hour to 4 hours or whatever, it's over, right? We had it, we hashed it out, got in it, and it's over.
Mhm.
Not everybody could do that with me, but I had no problem doing it with them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because yeah, I feel like I hear comedians talk about that sometimes. Like you get in a fight with your wife or your girlfriend or something like that, and it's like one of you like gets over it faster, and
Yeah.
or like she'll come back and apologize maybe,
Yeah.
and you're like, but you're like still angry about it. So like she's doing what she needs to do,
Mhm.
apologize, but you're like, no, I'm not done being angry yet.
Yep. No, that is not me. That you're right. I feel like that's every relationship had. Like you see those all the time on the reels or whatever those things are, the YouTube short things and all that, where they'll have like behind every outgoing, loud, talkative neighbor is a introvert wife that doesn't want to talk to anybody, or flip flop right out of and I feel like that's how it is. Like me and Aaron, 100%. If we get in a fight or something, I'm always like within 5 minutes, no matter how mad I was or how mad she was, I'm always like, I don't want to do this. This is dumb. What do we talk? Like I'm sorry. And but if she ain't ready
She's like,
to be
I
done,
need some time to
she ain't
be
ready to
mad
be
for a little
done.
bit. Yeah.
She ain't
Yeah.
ready to be done.
I
It
feel
ain't
you.
done. I'm like, all right,
I
I
feel
give it
like
some time, babe.
I'm that person
You're that one.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, good. Take your time. But I'm done. So it's over from
Yeah.
but I get that I'm different
Yeah.
than a lot of people. She
Sure.
always tells me that too. She's like, you don't understand. Not everybody, just because that's how you are doesn't mean that's how everybody is. Cause I'm always looking at people like, dude, chill out. What's the big deal? Like,
Right.
look, what's 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 years, right?
Right.
10 minutes, 10 days, 10 years. How upset do you need to be right now?
Mhm.
Is it gonna affect you in 10 minutes? Yeah. Okay, well, be 10 minutes upset.
Mhm.
Is it gonna affect you 10 weeks or 10 whatever that little thing is? But guess what? It ain't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's not. In the long term, it's not a big deal.
Most of the time you put some perspective on it and it's mostly not not a big deal.
I have been able to do that, and I realize other people can't. My biggest fault is I expect other people. I can't understand why other people can't do it. I've
Mhm.
gotten much better since I've been married and like really have long conversations about it.
Yeah.
It's much better. I get it, but it used to be where I'm like, well, why are you so pissed off still? What? It's over. Who cares?
Yeah, I still am working through that too. Like people are like, people are like inconsiderate in public or something like that. I'm like, what kind of a person or what
Yes.
is how can
Yep.
you be like that?
Yeah.
And then I have to like think to myself like we don't have the same brain.
Nope.
It's not
We weren't
we don't
raised the
have the
same
same
way.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and you don't want to just like let people like do whatever they want because this is still a society and you got to like they
Absolutely.
need to learn that too. But also, you can't just go around like pointing, look what that person's doing. Look what
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like
You
that.
also can't walk up to somebody and say you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's not
I
your
wouldn't do that.
place.
I'm too
I know
afraid of
you would, but
conversation.
that's like people that do that where they see somebody in a grocery store, like not look and just turn a corner or something. Like, you really need to look before you come out of the aisle. It's like, whoa, hey man,
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
seriously gonna get upset with somebody about that?
right.
Chill out, dude. It's okay.
Yeah,
Life's okay.
yeah.
Life's okay. So that's what usually when stuff like that happens and somebody gets mad at me for something, well, I will, like the guy behind me, be like, I bet you go home and cry every night, don't you? Do you cry yourself to sleep every night? Is it that bad? It's that bad, isn't it? And then I turn around with a smile, walk away. Turn around, smile, walk away.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of that bad, well, first off, so we love. I'm gonna get into to a funny thing that happened to me yesterday.
Okay.
We love Reese's. We do a little Reese's segment on here
Oh,
up
yes, we
until we've
do.
eaten every type of Reese's there is, except for apparently there's a fudge sundae Reese's or fudge
Like fudge, yeah,
something
fudge
in the
overload
Reese
or
cup.
some kind of, yeah.
Anyway, we also love Penn Station cookies.
Yeah, we do.
Big Penn Station
Oh,
cookies or like
yeah.
gas station cookies if you get the right one. Some of them are hard as a rock, but the big ones wrapped up.
Let me tell you this really quick. I did yoga tonight at the gym
Yeah.
and like in a yoga class.
Yeah.
I was laying there during yoga thinking, I think I'm gonna go to Penn Station after this. And I thought about cookies. I thought about Penn Station
That's
cookies
awesome.
at yoga.
I'm at the gas station the other day, and they've got
Oh,
gas station cookies with a Reese's stickers made with Reese's peanut butter cups.
wow. Look at
So
that.
here, let me have that one. I think that one's broke. Here, have that full one.
I'm not worried about it's broke. I'm worried about that. It was 98 today, and this was in your truck until just
Oh
now.
no, no, no.
And it was also in your pocket.
In my my center console stays pretty cool.
Does it?
In that center console, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Legit.
That's why I put it there because I got it yesterday. And it was in my truck all day today. I was on the phone with you when I saw it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
So so anyway, so I man, these are gonna wow, they really packaged the heck out of this over at the Dutch's. So
Oh, is that what it was?
yeah, so I was in Columbus yesterday and
I'm gonna be there on Saturday
nice. Oh, for Swardson.
for Roy Wood Jr.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Pretty excited.
So I am in Columbus and I had dinner with a vendor of mine and I was driving I was driving down the street and I saw BJ's. You ever seen BJ's Brew House?
Yeah.
And they've got Pazookies at which are like pizza cookies, but then they put ice cream on top and
Mhm.
like all the other stuff.
Yes.
And I decided that I wanted one.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Now this is like 10 o'clock at night
Mhm.
on a Tuesday.
Best
So
time to have one.
best time
really.
to have one. So I go up and like, you know, the way that I am, a little bit different. I walk up to the bar and I sit down at the bar and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a glass of wine
Wow.
and then I'm gonna order a Pizookie to go. And I'm gonna eat it when I get home.
What a classy gentleman.
I know. I'm kind of like I like a little what is it? The Pinot Noir. It's red, but it's light. It's not
Red but
strong.
light. Hmm.
So I've been, you know, just trying to look like I'm 40, basically is all it is. And so I go and I sit down and two seats, you know, one empty seat, and then there's these two ladies there, late 50s, I'd say, possibly early 60s, probably late 50s.
Hitting their
And
prime.
and this woman is telling this other woman to leave her husband.
Oh.
She is just you can't deal with this anymore. And then the phone rings. I'm like, it's him. Don't answer it. I'm not answering it. I'm not going to answer it. Don't answer it. I'm not answering it. And I look at the bartender and I go, I'll have an order of Brussels sprouts, please. Oh, fried Brussels sprouts are my favorite. So basically,
Right.
I'm staying here for a minute. Give me an appetizer. Is basically what I said. I'm gonna have an appetizer while I'm sitting here.
I need a reason to stay here.
Yeah, she said, do you want the Pizookie?" And I was like, "No, I want that to go." So I'm gonna have another glass of wine in these, and then I'll order that to go. So she kind of smirks because she knows what I was saying. So the girl who's got the crazy husband goes to the bathroom. Phone rings again. Old girl picks it up and starts talking to him. They're friends, right? They've known. We're here. We're at the bar. Do you want me to do FaceTime? She went to the bathroom. She's in the bathroom. That's where she went. She went to the bathroom. No, that's the bartender talking in the background. Do you want me to do FaceTime and prove it to you? And I'm like, this ain't her wife. This isn't her husband. This is great. I am, it's like I'm at a show. I was at a show. This girl is, and she is like 55 years old, but talking like, this is not how we do things, and has
Oh,
that
God.
voice. And I'm like,
I just got
this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. This woman is actively trying to break her friend's marriage up. And they have a 20-year-old or 22-year-old or something, right? Like who played baseball. He was in college playing baseball.
You really stayed there.
Oh, dude, I was sitting there like that. I can't not. Yeah, I can't not now. So
Well, Jeremy was 2 for 3 yesterday with an RBI.
it was like, yeah, they did talk about baseball for a while. And I didn't say a word. You know how hard it is for me not to chime in about baseball? I'm like, I'm acting like I'm watching TV, like leaning a little, like they start whispering. I'm like, God, take on it. This is probably good stuff here. Come on now. I hold my other ear closed like this. By right, hold the other ear closed, trying to listen to what they're whispering about. Like I'm 100% in on these people's conversation. And I know they know. They have to know. They have to know I'm actively listening to everything that's going on.
You know what my favorite thing from an 80s sitcom was? When somebody wanted to when somebody wanted to hear through the door a conversation, hold up a glass to the door. How's that work?
I don't know how it works, but I have before been in a hotel room and thought I heard somebody like in a fight, and I was like, "Oh, I want to hear this fight." And I couldn't really hear it, and I got a glass out of the little thing they got, and I looked at it, and I was like, "I don't know which side goes against my ear. Do I put the open side there or the closed side?" That was the end of that. I remember thinking that though. Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope. Anyway,
Jeremy was 2 for 3. Go ahead.
so I'm sitting there. She comes back from the bathroom. She's talking to him. She just got back from the bathroom. She's right here. No, you can't be called. The wife now has had a couple cocktails just since I've been there.
Okay.
And I know they were there before I got there. And they were there when I left. But she's already had a couple. And so she's feeling ready to go. The other girl's talking on the phone, and the wife is yelling from the next seat, "You can't just call. I'm out with my friend just having a drink. Stop it. Hang up the phone on him. Hang up the phone on him." And I'm like, uh-oh. The wife at one point in this was all, "Oh, but he is really good still." And he da. Now she's yelling at old boy.
Because her friend got her all riled up.
That's exactly what happened. This friend purposely started all of this drama. I listened to this woman start the drama. By the end of this, like, so she's got her friend talking to her about like, listen, you can we've got a whole setup in the basement with full bathroom and full kitchen, and it's in a bedroom and a living space. You can just stay with us as long as you need. She's like, "Well, I'm getting an apartment if I'm doing anything. I'm not can't stay with someone, like they're getting into this." Like, just a minute ago, she was staying with her husband because he's not that bad. Now he's made a couple phone calls, makes a third phone call.
Oh boy. Who is this? 20-year-old Adam?
Dude, I'm thinking in my head, like, in my head, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you've got to be a mid to late 50s guy. Why are you doing this? Go to bed. It's 10:30. Go to bed, homeboy. What are you doing? Not like I care. My Brussels sprouts are almost gone though. So I'm ready for, like, if something's gonna happen, let's get this party on.
Mozzarella sticks while you're at it.
Let's get this show started. I just got done eating wings. No, I had tacos. I just got done eating tacos. I'm like, we can't hang, like, oh, this ain't working here. Like, come on now. She picks the phone up and gives this man the what for. And every word she said is verbatim the words that girl next to her had put in her ear. So after all that, everything seemed to calm down. And dude said he was going to bed. They put him on speakerphone. I'm like, thank you. I've been waiting.
Speakerphone at the bar.
She goes, "Do you want to talk to her?" And put it on speakerphone so they can talk. God. And I went, "Oh," I was like, "Thank you. I've been wanting to know what he was saying." And I just want to know when you're coming home. That's all I'm trying to find out is when you're coming home. When we're done having our drinks, I will be home. I'm like, "Oh boy."
Which is obviously the answer.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, so crazy day. And then it all slowly calmed down when he hung up and said he was going to bed. And I was like, "All right, I'll take that Pizookie to go, please. I'm out." Fantastic half hour though. It was awesome.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I love catching an argument between people, especially a couple, like in the grocery store. Sometimes you hear them getting a little snippy with you can hear it in their voice, and oh God, I love that.
And then you're just like, I might follow this around because I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm in for it. Listen, I don't like starting drama. I don't like getting in the middle of drama, but I will listen to all of it.
Yeah.
I will listen to all the drama.
I'm looking at like vinegar or something I would never buy. Like, so I can stay nearby.
Picking stuff off the shelf. You ain't even reading nothing.
Yeah.
You ain't reading nothing on the back of that. You're just looking at
Apricot
it.
preserves. What the heck? I would never. Yeah. Oh gosh, man, that's a gem there. That's a
Oh,
great.
dude.
That's
And all because I wanted a Pazuki.
It paid off.
It did. And it was right after I was at the gas station and I got this. I drove down and I was like, well, I can't eat it because I wait for tomorrow. But now I want a cookie. And I looked up and I was like, oh, I'm getting one of these pizza cookies from BJ's. This is crazy. And the rest is history.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what gas station was it, or where'd you get this from again?
Dutch's.
Dutch's. Dutch's, which isn't that a paint supplier? No, it's a little Dutch boy or something. Or
Yeah, I think so. But this is
Dutch's is a gas station, right?
I guess. Yeah, Dutch's right there. That's from the deli. When apparently the
From the
deli
de-
is the basket on the counter
Yeah, yeah,
next to the cash machine.
So what's interesting about this? Yeah, this is a classic. You're right. This is a classic uh gas station cookie by the register thing. It's got the look, but it's got the official Reese's logo. I mean, that tells you I don't think they can do that without it actually being Reese's product.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's like an official Reese's logo as much a sticker that was placed on. But that is the Reese's logo. I get what you're saying. I mean, this was printed by Reese's, made with Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
Trademark and trade dress used with permission.
Okay. See, I think that's official. So I usually as much of a cookie, connoisseur, aficionado, whatever it is that I am, I usually don't do those gas station cookies at the front as good as they usually look. But this is something that if I saw that, a little extra thing would be like, I think this is one I'm gonna have to.
I gotta try it.
Yeah, which obviously happens.
Usually you see those gas station cookies like, dang on, that looks good. And then you go to grab it and it's hard as a rock and you go, no, no, I'm not eating
Right.
that.
Yeah, I mean, where'd they make this? In the back room? Like,
Mhm.
there's two 17-year-old dudes here with, that are that are talking like they
With face tattoos.
with face tattoos. Thank you.
And they're working next to the 60-year-old woman with 4 teeth left.
Yes. That's boy, you have been in UDF, haven't you? Anyway,
All the time, man. All the time.
every single UDF.
Everyone.
um
Or the really big, long, greasy haired dude that's
Yeah.
really big that's just talking to his buddy who doesn't work there, who just comes to UDF to stand next to the counter
Yes.
and talk
Oh.
about gaming or
Oh
something.
my God. Yeah, he runs
And
the
the whole time-
baseball card shop,
Yeah.
right? During the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they specialize they have baseball cards, but they specialize in Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah.
So, I know exact. Wow, yes, gosh,
Probably
we
just
see the
came
same
from a
people.
Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Yeah. Anyway, so those guys are
you
hanging
the
out.
Dungeon master?
You see the you see the Reese's cookie, and you're like, I gotta check that out. So good on you for doing that. And I gotta tell you, let's see, I'm writing our initials down here because we of course score it 0 to 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my number is that's a that's a 9.4. You give it a 9.4.
I was gonna say 9.6.
I loved it. Yeah.
Right, that's really good.
Yep. What's also funny about this is for dinner tonight. So I told you I'm in yoga, right? And I'm thinking might do Penn Station tonight. I could use a cookie. And instead I go to the Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I go there a lot after the gym.
Good for you.
And I get the smoothie. And right across the street is also a crumble cookie, right?
You did not go to the smoothie place for a smoothie. You went to the smoothie place so you would be next to Crumble.
Well, I do get the smoothie a lot of times, and it seems to happen on Wednesdays for some reason. I get the smoothie, and then and the last couple Wednesdays, I'm like, I gotta, because Crumble, the menu changes every week. You get four or 5 new different kinds of cookies, and you always have the chocolate chip. Well, So I go and I check the app first to see what the menu is this week.
Mm-hmm.
I see a peanut butter. What is it? It's called a peanut butter something. It's a peanut butter cookie, big peanut butter cookie with like a dollop of chocolate on top of it, just like an icing dollop of chocolate, right?
Perfect.
I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I go over there and I get that. I had a peanut butter cookie with some chocolate on it earlier this evening for dinner. And
With your smoothie, though.
with my smoothie. The smoothie was maybe one of the healthiest you can get there. It's the Detox Island Green. It's
Oh, you're
kale.
being for real?
I'm being for real.
Oh, man,
Kale.
I thought you were about to like read off like it's got lemonade, it's got all the sugars.
No, no. It's got kale, spinach. I think it's got like mango, banana, maybe pineapple, and then ginger, and then maybe one
Do
other
they
thing.
make that while you're there? I'm
Yeah.
gonna be 100% honest with you. Never been in a smoothie place,
You can watch them make it right there.
but they like cut the banana up right there.
They have, yeah, I mean, they have like a station. It's almost like a subway sort of, but it's
Okay.
you can't like, I mean, you can walk around the side and see it, but and they've got the kale in the one bin and the this, everything
Are the
in the separate
bananas
bins.
pre-cut or
Uh,
because you let a
I guess I've
banana
never.
go for like
Yeah, yeah,
for like 10 minutes out of its wrapper
right.
and
It's
it's
done.
no good.
It's finished.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a chance they're using like banana puree or something, or
Okay. Mm-hmm.
banana juice or whatever.
I gotcha.
Um,
I mean, that's the point of juicing it, though, is to get the juice. But I guess they pre-juice.
yeah, I don't know. They might. Yeah, I guess I've never really watched close enough. I've seen like a couple of the things, like they'll take the little tongs and throw the thing, and they're so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually just don't pay that close attention. But anyway, it apparently has all that stuff in it, and probably I don't know, probably something else in it that it's not that good. So it must be like
Okay, so you're not buying it because it's good.
no,
Then
no.
I know that it's good for you.
That's how I'm. That's the only way I'm ingesting vegetables.
Yeah.
That smoothie.
I don't mind. I don't mind veggies. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't mind them. Some peas.
I'll have a leaf of lettuce. Yeah, you know what? I actually do for lunch a lot of times. I'll take like frozen meals with like lentils and rice
Mm-hmm.
and peas and different beans and stuff like that. And just the thing you
Not
heat
bad.
up.
As long as you heat it up,
Mm.
I'm okay with it. But I don't want to like eat a raw carrot
Yeah.
unless it's absolutely covered in ranch dressing.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
I'll eat it.
Yeah.
Like those veggie trays, there's never enough ranch in the middle if I'm
Right.
eating.
Yeah.
Never. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get a couple extra
Mhm.
boxes of ranch. um anyway, they don't come in boxes or whatever, but
I'm getting a box of ranch next time I get a chance. So I'll tell you that.
they have ranch powder. You can buy ranch powder.
Absolutely. You know the best thing. Ranch powder is in my house all the time.
Oh, well, wait a second. Ranch powder is what's on sunflower seeds that you've eaten a
Oh,
zillion times.
100%. But do you like, I don't, have you ever, probably never had because Aaron makes them all the time. Well, and I've made them too, but uh they're gone before, like within an hour of them making them. Taking a bag of oyster crackers,
Mhm.
put it in like one of them gallon Ziploc bags, dump it in there. A little bit of olive oil, drizzle it in there, shake it up, dump ranch powder in there, shake them all up, and you've got ranch oyster crackers.
Mhm.
Oh my God,
Sounds pretty good.
dude. I'm gonna shout out to Emily Courtwright, Crunchy Toes. First time I ever had them
Oh, I remember.
at her house. She made them, and ever since then, me and Aaron make them all the time,
Yeah,
all the time.
that's a nice little
Dude,
recipe.
my daughter loves them. Hates when we make them because when she goes to bed, I eat almost all of them while she's sleeping.
Yeah.
God, they're so good.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, ranch powder. I'm all in for ranch powder.
There you go. So yeah, get yourself a box of ranch powder and dip your carrots in
There you go.
it.
I like it. I like it. I like it. What else we got on the? Oh, did you see? I got so irritated the other day. I don't know
Oh, so
what.
you do get irritated once in a while.
Yeah, but it was for a very short period of time.
Okay.
So I was we talked about it. Read an article that there was a fella, Danny Jansen,
Mm-hmm.
was going to play for two teams in the exact same game.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing when I read it was they were talking about in like 2 days this was going to happen. And I'm thinking, I'm like, well, that's weird.
How would they know that?
How do
Right?
they know he's getting traded in that time? And now the trade deadline's over. You have to get waived and then picked up. Like that's a multi-day process there. That's not going to happen in the middle of a game.
Mm-hmm.
So they got me right. They knew what they were doing. Very interested. Me and you talked yesterday. What do you think about this? This fellow was up to bat when a game got suspended. Fourth inning, something like that. I can't remember what inning it was.
Yeah.
He was up to bat.
It was early enough that it wasn't. Gosh bless you. Oh, excuse my language, but gosh bless.
Oh, man, irritates the hell out of me so bad. I just got to sneeze. So they're like, he's playing for two different teams in the same day. I'm like, this dude's going to have two uniforms on the same day. Then I read he was up to bat for the Red Sox when the game got suspended. Later, was it Blue Jays?
Blue Jays, yeah.
Later gets traded to the Blue Jays before they make this game up.
Traded to the Red Sox.
Oh, was it the opposite way? Played for the Blue Jays, traded to the Red Sox, and he was going to catch the rest of that game for the Red Sox.
Uh-huh.
He never had a Blue Jays jersey on. He never even stepped up to the plate or anything. His name is just in the box score of the same game. He didn't play on the same day.
Same day.
Why did that get they blew that up like it was the craziest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that too. I didn't see it before it happened, but I saw after it did happen, the headline everywhere was first MLB player to play for two teams in the same game. I'm like, what? And we were talking. I said, okay, so he got, he played the first 2 innings for the Blue Jays, and then they traded him.
Came and pinch hit for
the
Red Sox.
Right. Nope. It was. You're right. It was. But the interesting thing was, so the game was suspended. They played it almost 2 months later or something, right?
Mhm.
They finished it. So that's how he played in the same game. But he was up to bat when the game was suspended.
So they had to bring a pinch hitter in.
They had to bring a pinch hitter in. So they were talking about he actually caught his at bat.
Yes.
He actually caught
That's
his
actually
at bat.
I never thought about that. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. He did catch his at bat.
Yes.
He never caught
because here's the thing. Or it would have been that way if there were two strikes.
I
or
was going to
something like
say
that.
he didn't
think
get
there
an
was
at
one
bat for
strike.
that. Yeah.
But I think from what I understand, if there were two strikes, if there were two strikes when the game stopped, that at bat still would have been credited to him. But there was only one or something like that.
Okay.
So I don't know. I never knew that rule, and maybe I've got it
Yeah,
wrong.
you can't give them both an at bat. There's no half at bats. So
Right.
there's got to be a certain pitch count where they credit it one way or the other.
Yes. Yeah. So
what if a dude hits a bomb? It's probably only going to credit if the guy gets out. You got two strikes and the pinch hitter gets out. All right, now that was your at bat. You were out. You were behind in the count. You're out.
I think that's how that.
But if you're at bat and you've got two strikes and you swing at second strike and you pull your back out and they got a pinch hit for you and that dude comes in and hits a bomb, that dude hit that bomb.
Yeah.
That does not go to you. I promise that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it has to do with if he gets out and if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
That could be.
Because it's not fair to put a guy up there behind two strikes. He takes takes one pitch. He's cold, takes one pitch and he's out. That's not on him. That's on the guy before him. But if he hits that bomb, that's his. He did all of that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I bet I would be willing to bet money on that's how that stat works.
Probably. But anyway, that was an interesting little piece of it. But I was the same way as you. I'm like, don't say he played for both teams in the same game. Like you have to have that caveat in the headline. I feel.
Yeah, I do too. Like game suspended, he will end up playing in the same game for two different teams 2 months later.
Or say technically or something like
that it's put an asterisk next.
It wasn't the same day.
It was not the same game. And they never said same day. So
right,
they knew But it was also the first time that somebody would be in the box score for two different teams that for the same game.
Yeah,
I get it. Same game. I get it. Wasn't the same day.
It was a little misleading.
Very much so.
A little misleading.
Anyway,
that was interesting though.
It was interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. What else we got? We got Mount Rushmore. What we got? Let's get into that.
Mount Rushmore of first baseman since 2000.
Yes.
So about the last 25 years, the top four first basemen. This was tough, man. I'll tell
Well,
you.
here's the deal. And when I started looking at these, I was looking at guys and I was like, you got people that played till like 2002
Right.
and they basically played in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of tried to weed some of that out.
Same. Yeah, even some guys that played like about half their career in the 90s, half in the 2000s. I mean, if they were like dominating at the end of that, then sure. But yeah, a lot of the guys that technically qualify played a lot in the 90s.
Sure.
Um, but we'll see. We'll see what we come up with.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first, or do you want me to?
I want you to go first because I want to go first for Nick Swardson.
Okay. So
So I have a lot to say about
good,
Nick Swardson.
good. Um, I think we are probably going to agree that number one on the list, no question about it, is Albert Pujols.
100%.
Okay. So we both have Albert Pujols. There's not even much to explain there. It just if you followed baseball for the last 25 years, it's just you know he's one of those guys. If there's anybody that doesn't vote for, if he's not a unanimous Hall of Famer, then whoever doesn't vote for him should be disqualified, should get the Pete Rose treatment, should
Yes.
not be allowed around baseball ever. I'm going
Totally
with,
agree.
thank you. I'm going to go with Paul Goldschmidt.
I love it.
I'm putting
Yep.
Paul Goldschmidt on there. The guy on both sides, he's got 4 Gold Gloves. He's got 5 Silver Sluggers. He's done it. He's done both for a really long time. All those years that Votto was up there in on base percentage, Goldschmidt was pretty close.
Always
up there
right
too.
there with him.
And he was hitting for power, and he was hitting for average. always a good first baseman defensively. So he's up there.
I wonder if we might have like the same. We might have the same. As hard as this was, we might be the same.
There's a guy on there I'll bet that I'm putting on that I'll bet you probably didn't have on there.
All right.
He'd probably be like on your list, but maybe not on the Mount Rushmore. And I barely put him on there because there are 10 guys I feel like I could put on there. Anyway, the third guy is Miguel Cabrera. Okay.
That's a must.
Yeah.
Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
Probably one of the top 3 players in the 2000s
Yep.
to hit the baseball.
Yes.
A lot of time at DH, but he was a first baseman.
Yes. Won 4 batting titles. Not much defensively, I don't think, but he was such a good hitter. I mean,
one of the greatest hitters to walk the face of the earth.
Yes.
First AL Triple Crown since Carl Yastrzemski.
Yeah, like 45 years or something like that.
It's crazy.
The guy that I'm going to go ahead and pick for my last spot here. All right, and yeah, Votto, Lance Berkman, Mark Teixeira was even better than I was thinking.
Was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mark Teixeira is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman.
He's probably my favorite of all these guys. I've got
you didn't put Votto
20 guys on here.
You did not put
I did not put Joey Votto on here. Listen to this guy who I'm putting on there, just total package.
Carlos Delgado?
No, a guy that I have
Delgado
didn't
play enough in the 2000s. He played a lot in the 90s.
He played half in the 90s, half in
Same with Tommy. Tommy only
Exactly.
played like 6 years or something like that.
Bagwell,
same way. I call Bagwell a 90s guy.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, he played until like 2005 or something, like 2004 or 5. I'm putting Todd Helton.
I love Todd Helton.
I love
recency biased.
No, I mean he's been retired for a long time.
He just went to the Hall of Fame.
I didn't
in the last class of the Hall of Fame. He was just in they just went in 2 months ago.
Yeah, those Rockies teams were mostly not very good, but he and Larry Walker, I love those guys. They're both such good hitters. Larry Walker was an incredible defensive player in the outfield too. And Todd Helton was too. I mean, he won 3 Gold Gloves and 4 Silver Sluggers. So he's another guy that I really put a lot of emphasis on.
Quarterback at Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. He's I mean, just an athlete. Just an athlete.
I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure he was a quarterback behind Peyton Manning at
Is that
Tampa
right?
Bay. Yeah. He talks about it in his speech,
Ah,
Hall of Fame speech. Super cool. Anyway, I
yeah.
like that.
Todd Helton fan.
I think that's great because Todd Helton is probably better than Joey Votto, but I'm putting Joey Votto in there.
I get it.
Joey Votto's
Totally
my
get it.
guy.
Mhm.
Votto's my guy, and you could go with so many different people um in that last spot. Like I said, Freddie Freeman is probably going to be there. Mark Teixeira is belongs there. Um, I was looking at a couple of these, and they had like Giambi and Berkman. Berkman doesn't belong in there. Berkman had a great career, but he's
I
not.
love Lance Bergman.
Yeah. Rizzo was great.
Mhm.
Adrian Gonzalez is a Hall of Famer. That
Yeah.
dude's a Hall of Famer. His
Yeah.
numbers are insane. You ever look at Adrian Gonzalez's numbers? He was consistently one of the top 5 hitters in baseball for like 15 years.
And was like the best defensive first baseman
Yes.
too for a long time
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, but yeah, once you get through there, I mean, that's pretty much everybody. I mean, you had a couple weird guys on there, like a Prince Fielder or Ryan Howard that were good. Morneau was really good. He won an
Yes.
MVP. But yeah, a lot of those guys weren't full career kind of good. They were, 3, 4 really good years. Um,
Those years where it seemed like 4 or 5 years where Ryan Howard and Prince Fielder were like just monsters.
mashing the
They
ball.
would hit
And
50
then they
home runs
both
and
out of
130 or
nowhere
whatever.
fell off the face of the earth.
Like, yeah.
Ryan Howard went from one of the best hitters in baseball for 5 years to not being able to hit his way out of a wet paper bag.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm going to go Votto instead of Helton. But the other three
Very
were
fair.
yeah.
Yep.
I love Paul Goldschmidt. I hate that he went to the Cardinals, but I love Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Dude is like he just reminds you of all those guys. He reminds you of the Adrian Gonzalez's. He reminds you of the Miguel Cabreras. Just big, strong, walk up, hit the ball, and not
Consistently good.
yes,
Yeah.
just contact percentage. This dude just always hits the ball. Doesn't strike out a lot. Hits for average. Hits for power. I love that.
Yes.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
100% with you.
All right. So that brings us to jokes from mouth. Is that it?
Make joke from face.
Make joke from face and Nick Swardson.
Yeah.
I will tell you, Nick Swardson is funny guy. He plays the weirdest characters. He knows
Yeah.
he's a weird guy. And he talked about he was a weird kid and he definitely was. I 100% believe this dude's been weird his whole life. Yeah, it didn't just happen, right? Like he said, he wasn't an investment banker for a while and then just all of a sudden decided he's gonna be a comedian. Um, he's funny. There was a lot of jokes that I don't think he really had a punchline for.
Yeah.
There was no I got it. There was a little punchline, and then he would talk about, and now he can't do his thing unless that happens to him. And it's like, okay, that wasn't even like the audience wasn't even laughing at that point. The first time he did it, maybe there was a little giggle, but it wasn't like I felt like he couldn't finish a joke. I don't feel like he had very good punchlines. I feel like the stories were hilarious. He had some funny stories.
Mm-hmm.
The grandma at grandma's boy to go watch grandma's that was a great story. And I don't know. I was disappointed in how there were quite a few times where I found my mind wandering because it seemed like I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Little, just not, it wasn't slow. It was just a little, it just didn't feel like there was any. I just feel like the big jokes weren't that funny. In his stories, those little jokes that go throughout the story, I was laughing at those. Those were funny. But when he got to the end and went for that, like the end of one of your stories should be the biggest punchline of the whole story. And I don't feel like it killed that way. I don't feel like it killed that way. I did still laugh. I did still laugh. Yeah, he's a weird dude. I mean, the dude put pee in a super soaker. I don't know how much of this stuff is true. Do I really think that he tried to pee out a window of a helicopter? No. Do I believe that whole conversation happened with David Spade in a helicopter on the way to go see Def Leppard and what did he say? Brian Adams?
Yeah, that's the most David
David
Spade
Spade concert
concert.
ever. This girl, his date was way too tall for him. She was every bit of 4'3". That was good. Like little stuff like that was good. He had those little things like I love those. I just felt like the ends of the joke he didn't have figured out. That's my whole thing. That's where that's my I was watching this and at one point in time when I wasn't paying attention to him anymore, in my head I was like, what am I gonna give this? And I was thinking like I got low at one point. And I was like, you know what though? And then I giggled at something. I was like, you know what? This has happened a lot. I've been laughing a lot. I still did not get to a 3.
Okay.
Was that a 2.6?
2.6.
2.6.
Okay.
I'm very interested to see what you thought about this.
Um,
If you go like a 4, we're going to be 100% off on this. It's not even close.
so I don't disagree with what you said. There were some things that were like, all right, just like this is just a funny story, and there's not like
Yes.
a big splash at the end.
Yes. That's what I like. I don't, yeah. Yeah. This dude seems like he'd be a great storyteller. Like he was at a party, you would be dying laughing at this dude.
Yeah, and he is like nuts. I mean, he's always been that way. He's always
Talks
talked about.
weird sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. He does his little voices and the way he does his face and everything. Um, the funniest, the part I laughed at the most by far was he was telling the joke about, he was in his 40s or whatever, and his grandma and her friends were like in their 90s or something like that. And they'd be like, and he'd say, like, oh gosh, I feel so old. And they'd be like, you're just a child or what.
Yeah.
And he's like, they don't have like friends who are 150 who who say that to them. They don't have anybody behind them to make them feel better. And the little thing he did to
Yeah,
be the
because it looked like
150 year
everybody's grandma with arthritis that they can't move. But the noise that came out of his mouth was a little annoying. But
Yeah,
yes, the hand things that looked like my great grandmother when she was 96 years old.
but he was playing the 150-year-old.
He was playing the 150-year-old, but Granny looked like she was 150.
And anyway, yeah, that made me laugh really hard. The way he did his body and his
Hmm.
face, and the voice he did on that, um, that got me for sure. Let's see, Trey, he called you. You can't pee out of a helicopter. He called that a travel tip.
Yeah, travel tip. That's what I'm saying. All the funniest parts were in the middle of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was talking about flying and how he wants to do one trip. He wants to go. He doesn't want layovers and stuff. And so he's like, so he puts it into the thing and it says, okay, okay, but
Yeah.
for a little bit cheaper, you can stop one time here or whatever. And he's like, no, 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 I just want to go all the way through. Okay, sure, I hear you. But if you go two stops, and then he said he's like, all I wanted to do was go Seattle to Denver. It was so easy. So finally they get to Seattle to Boston to Miami to Bali to Denver.
It's a
Uh,
it's a
that,
3-day flight.
yeah, that yeah, the 21-hour flight or whatever it was. He's like, so the answer will always be no, I've never been to Bali.
Yes. Unless I'm moving to Bali.
Yeah, if I'm flying to Bali, I'm
Yeah.
moving there. I kind of like that. But yeah, it was funny because at the end of it, I was like, okay, here, what's my score? And I thought, you know what? 2.9. I wrote down a 3.
Ooh, we were closer than I thought. I thought you were going to be higher for some
Yeah.
reason.
Because I was expecting something big here. I was
I
expecting
was,
it to be
yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
And it was not quite as good as I expected. Um, but there was enough. I was like, you know what? Maybe he gets a couple of points because I I just think he's funny all the time anyway, and he's friends with all the guys. He's
Yeah.
Spade and Sandler, and he's really close with Norm and the guys that I love. He's like good friends with them. He's got a bunch of stories about those guys. Um, and he didn't tell it in the special, but he told a story not too long ago somewhere else about he was like really good friends with Norm, And he was like, they were all on tour together on like one of Sandler's tours or whatever. And he said they were walking down the hallway in a hotel, and he saw a security guard walking down the hall,
Uh-huh.
and he goes to Norm. He's like, "Oh my God, that guy's got a gun!" And Norm like panicked and ran into the room with Sandler and like a couple other people, and he's like yelling about a guy having a gun. Everybody got really scared. And then and Nick Swardson comes in, he's like, "No, I just said that to Norm just to
So
be funny because he was a
that
security
total
guard."
that's the kind of guy I feel like he
Yeah.
really is in real life too. I feel like he's that friend of yours that's like, "Whoa, did you just say what I think you just said?"
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
He said Sandler got really mad at him. He's like, "What is wrong with you? Why would you do that?"
I believe that too.
Yeah. But anyway, okay, yeah. I mean, Nick Swardson. It's I'm going. Have I might not have told you this.
Yeah, you
So,
told me you were going to go see him.
but here's the thing. I went on a big spending spree of tickets for comedy shows a month ago or something like that. And I'm like, I've got this list in my phone of people I want to see for that I haven't seen ever, and um, so I buy tickets to a show. A few days later, I buy tickets to the Nick Swardson show. Right after I bought the tickets, I realized I bought tickets to shows on
Same
two,
day.
yeah, on the same day. One's in Indianapolis, one's here in Cincinnati.
Hour and a half. What time are they?
Yeah, I know. It's they're both like 7 or 8 or something like that.
Oh, you get that 6 o'clock show and then like a 9:30 show.
Oh, that'd be
You
perfect.
got a chance.
Yeah.
You got a chance.
Right. No. So on that day, Nick Swardson is here. The first tickets I bought were in Indianapolis to see Sarah Silverman.
Ooh.
You're not a Sarah Silverman
Yeah,
fella?
she is one of those comedians that feels to me like they stand and preach. They do a lot of not preaching, but like
I know.
try to push their agenda, their life, their stuff on you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
And maybe
disagree.
not in a small show, she wouldn't be that way. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Um,
She is hilarious though.
I've always
When
thought she was really
she's
funny. Yeah.
very funny. She was married to Jimmy Kimmel for a little while, wasn't she?
They dated.
Oh,
I
I
don't
thought they were
think they
married.
ever got married. Yeah. Um, yeah, she dated a couple comedians, Jimmy Kimmel and um, another guy who I'm picturing that I love, and I can't think of his name right now. But
Yeah.
anyway, um, so yes, so I still have tickets for both of those, and I'll just sell one of them, and I'm most likely going to go see Nick Swardson, especially because he's here.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think I'd rather go see after watching this. I think I might rather go see Sarah Silverman. Who's
yeah,
with them? Who's with each of them?
I don't know.
Sometimes that's a big kicker. Like
I
if I know somebody that's there, most of the time you don't, but
most
if you
yeah most
do,
people don't.
it's like, okay, all right, this could be, oh, maybe I want to go check this dude out.
Yeah. Yeah, you know who? So we went last year and saw Nate Bargatze together.
Yes.
You know who has been touring with him all year since after that? A comedian that I love for a really long time, and he's huge. He's a headliner. I don't know if he's huge, but Nick Thune.
Yeah.
Nick Thune. Yeah.
We did a Nick Thune.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Um, he's been
He's
touring.
touring with what, Nate
He's been
now?
on Nate's
Oh, that would
tour
have
for
been
the last year.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
What do you do when you have those two? Like you got to kick like if you've got three openers, you got a guy doing like 5 minutes, a guy doing like 15, and a guy doing another 15, and then you're doing an hour or whatever,
Mhm.
or an MC. Like Nate had like an MC that came on and did like a joke and introduced people. Either way, you're like three guys. You're kicking all three of them out, and now it's just a two-man, right? He's getting a half hour to 45 minutes, and you're getting an hour.
Yeah. Maybe. Yep. I don't know how they did it, but actually
And
headliners
those dudes that,
do stuff together all the time. So
yeah,
I don't know how it
and
works,
those
but
dudes that open for Nate, two of them are on his podcast, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, you can't really kick those guys out.
Yeah. But anyway, it would have been cool to see those two
That would have been
together.
awesome. That would have
Yeah.
been
I mean, the
really
show
good.
we went to was awesome
Yeah,
anyway.
it was. It was really good.
Um, so anyway, yeah, and I see Roy Wood Jr. this weekend in Columbus.
Nice.
And yeah. Yep. And I've got those two. I've got the Sarah Silverman, Nick Swardson day, and then I've got Jim Gaffigan in November.
Meh, that'll be great. Good. Have
Mhm.
fun with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I won't ask you to
I hope you have a great time.
go.
I was actually just talking let's see here. There was a picture that popped up on my buddy Mike's. Oh, that was another thing I was gonna talk about. We talk about that later. My buddy Mike's FaceTube when me and him and his wife and my wife went to go see Nate Bargatze in Columbus.
Mhm,
It popped up and I was talking and he said we need to go watch another show again.
mhm.
So immediately I jump on. I'm like, yeah, we do. Let's like if I want to go out of town and go watch something. So I start just going. I'm on my phone looking all over the place.
Looking for Nate specifically?
No, no,
Just
because I've seen Nate like 3 times now.
yeah,
And trust me, I will watch him every time and laugh like crazy every single time.
yeah,
But I would like to go see some different people.
yeah.
So I'm looking all around and I'm like, I don't know, Columbus. I don't know, Columbus, maybe Indianapolis, just trying to figure out what would be the one I would want to do.
Mhm,
And come across I can't find it on here. I want to say it's Louisville,
mhm.
Big J.
Big J.
Always wanted to go see
Oh,
Big J
he's
Okerson.
so good.
Always wanted to see Big J
Oh,
Okerson.
you guys gotta see
I
him.
hope, and I sent it. So he says while we're joking about this picture, he says in there, he says, we need to go do something like this again. Immediately, I put in there after I looked it up, I was like, Big J Ogerson, one of the funniest men alive.
Yes.
And I sent that out. It was me, my wife, his wife, and him in the text group. Sent it out. Crickets. Everybody was talking about this because it took the picture of the four of us. I don't know how this works. He said, I don't do the face tube. So he told me that Facebook put a memory on his thing
Oh yeah.
from when we went. It somehow cut me out. Number one, it made his shirt unbuttoned.
Wait, wait.
Aaron's hair looks a little disheveled, and it's got like a beach scene in the background instead of us in a theater.
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to find this because it doesn't make a lick of sense unless he did.
Some kind of AI thing or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't make any sense at all. So, and so they're all joking about the picture. Yeah, this is the picture. This is the picture that came up. I put a heart around his belly because it makes it look like his belly's sticking out. I was in that picture in a theater.
Oh,
Okay. And it just took all the other stuff, made it look weird. So anyway, um, man, these headphones worked the whole time until just then. They're back. Um, so they're all laughing about all this. And I'm gonna look at the time frame. This is 10 o'clock at night, 10:02. Um, said, let's go somewhere again. Da da da. 10:36. This is all within like everybody's talking. I say Big J Okerson in Louisville, November 16th. Check your calendars. One of the funniest men alive. That is the last message that was in that group.
so here's one thing.
I don't understand.
So for a lot of people, even people who are super close friends, the idea of getting together is so fun to talk about.
It's
When it
I
time
know.
comes time to the
No.
actual planning, everybody's like, "Oh, well, wait a minute, wait
Hold
a
on a
minute,
second.
wait a
Whoa,
minute."
whoa, we
I don't
actually
know,
gonna
like,
do this
commit
now?
to anything
Yeah.
here, you know?
Hold on a second. Yeah. Well, he's throwing dates out. That was like just, that was one of those friendly, oh, we had fun. We should do it again.
Right.
Nah, I wasn't expecting old boy to come out with a date. Now,
Yeah.
hold on a second now.
So let me ask you this. Big J. Ogerson is a very dirty comic. Would the girls be okay with him?
They don't have a choice.
Okay.
I think they would def I think they would yes, I think they
They'd
would
be
be
all right.
okay with it. Absolutely.
I'll tell you, don't
Absolutely.
sit up front
I want to sit up
because
front
he almost
so
exclusively
bad.
does crowd work.
I want to sit up front so bad.
Yeah.
I want to know what kind of funny things that he will, and I want to sit next to him. I want to like, however we got to sit. I want like my wife on the right, me on the left of her, and him on the left of me, his wife on the like us two in the middle together. And my arm, when that show starts, is going to be around him from the start. I might rub his little bald head every now and then just to try to, like, hey, look at me, Jay. I'm playing with this bald guy's head. This is my man.
It won't take him long to say
No,
something.
and I think that would be the funniest thing in the entire world.
Yes.
I
Uh,
would love it.
I'm sure I told you, I don't remember if I told it on this podcast, but when I went to see him 2, 3 years ago or
With your dad,
whatever,
right?
no, with my buddy,
Oh, it was with your buddy.
and he said, "You two look like best buddies, huh?" And
Immediately
I'm
Adam
like,
goes, "Oh God,
yeah,
no."
we were in the front. We were in the front row too, and he's like, yeah. He's like, you guys ever seen each other naked before? I'm like, gosh, man. I mean, no, but
That's so fun. I immediately would be like, I've seen him, but he's never seen me.
yeah,
Or
I knew what
or
he wanted me to say, but I said
I
no.
yeah, or I've seen him, but he doesn't know it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes. Oh God. I still listen to the bonfire every single day.
Yeah.
Listen every day.
He's funny, dude. Funny dude.
I hope you guys end up going to that.
I do too. Doesn't sound like it though. That thing got crickets quick. That was crickets so fast that and then afterward, I mean, that was like 10:20 or something like that, right? Um, come downstairs, talking to Erin. She's in there making comments in between there too. No, I've seen my buddy since then. Nobody has said a word about Big J Okerson. Nobody has.
What's the date? What the date?
November 12th.
November 12th. Okay.
It's a long way away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that's the other thing. It's hard to make plans that far out, but also
no, it's
sometimes
not.
you need to.
It's not that hard.
Because
You go, let's buy tickets, and now we have something to do on November 16th. So when somebody else
Once you
says
buy
they have
tickets.
something to do, or if your kid has a game or something, you go, oh, that's okay. Grandma, can you take him? Because I've already got a commitment.
That's
I've
right.
already got a hotel room and everything. And they're cheap tickets. Dude, they're not bad. I want to say they're like 35, $50. Like,
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
bad.
that's even more than I thought they might be.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I think of concert tickets now, how they're like
Mhm.
$120 to go to a concert
Yeah.
and sit in the very back in the lawn. And like you can get this for like you see that for like $35, $50. I'm like, psh, let's go. I'm
Is
in.
it at a comedy club or a theater?
No, it's at a theater.
Oh, okay. 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 So then you're less, I mean, he'll still talk to everybody, but a little less likely in a theater because it's a little tougher to do crowd work in a theater. But if you're in the first row or two,
He does I've seen him in theater. His specials were in theaters and he still does a lot of crowd work.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck on that.
I hope they want to go. Otherwise, I might be going to. Otherwise, you want to go to Louisville on November 16th?
If you want to
Let's
go,
say
they
you
want
wanna
to
go.
go. I will definitely go. Yes. Count me in.
I love it.
Okay. So speaking of that, we have a
Oh yeah.
comedy special to
Yes.
select
Yes.
and a Mount Rushmore.
And I probably won't pick any 800-pound gorilla specials because I don't know how to look people up on YouTube as fast as I can go to Netflix and find somebody. So I do like that this 800-pound gorilla seems to be like you talk about people being on podcasts all the time.
Yep.
Who like owns or runs this 800-pound gorilla? They've got to be on these podcasts all the time talking about stuff, right? Because they're doing every YouTube podcast. They are, what is it? I don't even know what they are. Are they the producers, the directors? Are they
I think it's
the
just
money behind it all? What, to fund the beginning part of it?
yeah, I think it's like the production of it. It goes through them maybe, but I think they're just kind of like a Comedy Central or whoever just puts it out. Like I guess it would be the producers of the special, but they did albums, comedy albums for a long time before they started doing
They did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um so anyway, yes, but they got a lot of people use them. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway,
Well, do you have anything that you want to go off of right away with the Mount Rushmore?
the Mount Rushmore, I was thinking about this earlier while I was listening to music on my way home. This is going to be very self-serving,
I love it.
but my favorite band or group or artist is Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay.
This is going to be
Little
nearly
EWF.
impossible. Yeah, it's going to be nearly impossible to select four, but I'm just thinking Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. They have so many hits, and I'm getting more and more into like the tracks on that weren't played on the radio a lot and stuff. I'm like getting into that stuff now. So um I'm like almost every day now. I'm like, oh man, a song I've never heard before, or I've only heard once or twice or something in my life. I'm
So
like, oh,
from
this is
here on
great.
out, there's a guy that I know plays softball, and he loves to say, "I got more hits than the Bee Gees." And I always thought that was kind of funny. From here on out, I
Mhm.
think every time I hear something like that, or if I get up and get a little seed and everybody starts saying something, I'm gonna go, "I got more hits than Earth, Wind, and Fire."
Yes, that would be. I feel like that would be a more accurate saying.
Sure.
The Bee Gees are great. That's fine.
But they had two songs, "Staying
Yeah,
Alive" and what's the
yeah,
other
yeah.
one?
Yeah. Oh, there's one that they played on an episode of King of Queens that I'm thinking of, and I can't remember what it's called. But anyway,
Either way. I
yeah,
always thought the lead singer for the Bee Gees was a girl until I saw the music video and realized he was a man.
Barry
So
Gibb.
I don't know how you get that voice on a man, but
Well, look, what's his face too? Frankie Valli. You know,
Frankie Valli for sure. There's a country band. God, dude looks like a bird. What is their name? He looks like a bird.
Hmm.
And forever, I thought he was a girl. I thought a girl was their lead singer. What was the name of them? Aaron would know. They were big for a while,
Hmm.
10, 15 years ago. Um,
Rascal Flats.
that's it.
Is it really?
That's it. How did you do that? You knew who I was talking about, didn't you?
No,
You seen that, dude?
uh-uh.
That's exactly who it is.
Rascal Flats was huge for a while, I know, but I don't.
Yes.
I
I
remember
can't
my
believe
sister
you just
listening.
did that. Dude, I can't believe you don't listen to any country music at all. I'm trying to think of one country artist that was big for like a very short period of time, and you bang it out like it's nothing.
That was lucky.
That's unbelievable. This Broken Road, I think, is a song that God bless the broken road that
Huh.
yeah, yeah. You just gotta hear this dude's voice.
Yeah.
That's a female.
That's this. Oh, okay, that sounds familiar. Um, he's got like a nasally thing or
I
something.
don't know. I feel like that sounds like a woman.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know. And like that's the first person I think of all the time when I think of guys that sound like a woman.
Really?
I can't believe that y- nailed Rascal Flats off of that. Okay, so
I've got about 10 country artists in my brain. I don't
that's
know any of their
insane.
songs, but I know their names.
So it's a cousin thing, right? We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Me and cousin Tony, one day
Telepathy or
we're
whatever.
playing this game called can't remember what it was. Password, something maybe passcode, something like that, or maybe you had to act things out. I can't remember. But you go through as many cards as you can. And I pull a card up and I just go like this to my head, and he goes turban, and it was turban, and everybody, and I was like yes, and people we were playing with were like, no, it's not. Let me see the card, and I showed it to them. They're like, how did you get that? I was like, it's just right here, man. It's where we're at.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
just a cousin thing. I don't have to say anything that makes any sense, just a
No,
random words, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Rascal
just
Flats. That's awesome that you got that.
wavelength
All right. On that note, so we are gonna do Earth, Wind, and Fire, Mount Rushmore
songs. Yep.
songs. I, you know what I'm doing.
I don't know if I know. It's from
If you had
Netflix.
to guess, yeah, I always go Netflix. If you had to guess Netflix right now, we've said his name like 3 or 4 times already on the podcast,
Recently?
just today.
Oh. Um, okay. Then we are talking about Nate.
Adam Sandler,
Oh,
love you.
okay. Yeah.
Adam Sandler, love you. And I don't know when this came out. It's definitely recent. Recently added. I haven't seen this on Netflix until I just pulled my phone up today. So
Oh,
I've got to feel like this has got to be pretty daggone new.
I,
Did we already
it
do?
might
We
be.
didn't do this, did we?
No, I
No, we
has
did fresh.
100% fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, maybe this is. I think I did hear that he had something coming out soon.
It says recently added next to it.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I think we're good here, bud. I think we got a new Adam Sandler, love you.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm so excited. He's one of the people since he's touring like every year now
Yeah.
again that I really, really want to go see. Really want to see Sandler do stand up.
Yep. All right, so there you go. I was gonna go with the Matt Rife. I keep wanting to go back to Matt Rife just to make you have to watch him again. I want to so bad.
So what's funny about that is I listened to Matt Rife as a guest on a podcast today
Pretty good.
on yeah, on David Spade and Dana Carvey's podcast.
Okay.
Um, and he's good. He's sometimes on stage, and maybe it's in my head, like we talked about, like, is he kind of a little cocky because
Yeah.
he knows he's super good looking and very famous and rich now and everything, and every girl wants him. He's a number one. He is funny,
Yeah.
and he was like a humble guy, and he's
Very.
like,
So all the
yeah,
stuff I've heard from him is that way. I have been watching. So I like to get on the chat snap and do little things on them, and they got a picture of him like when because he talks about how remember his grandpa took him in
oh
that
yeah,
special we watched when he was like 15 years old, started doing stand up.
he told the same story on
Or
the podcast
13 or
today.
15, whatever it was, real young.
Yep.
And like when you see these, when he started to, really get into the comedy scene, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, like he looked like a child.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like still had some little pudgy round face on him a little bit, the big old gap teeth.
Yeah.
He got his teeth did. But and everybody's like, how much plastic surgery has Matt Rife had to get his jawline to look like this? And they're interviewing Matt Rife, and he's like, yeah, I'll tell you, puberty's it's the best surgery it's ever happened to me. I just went through puberty and I started working out, and all of a sudden I had surgery. And he's like, I did have my teeth done though. He did get the what do you call those things?
Veneers or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Rascal Flats.
Rascal Flats.
Yeah.
Good job.
Call
See,
'em
you knew
Rascal
I was talking about the
Flats. When you get your teeth done, from now on, it's called
get
you got
Rascal
Rascal
Flat.
Flats. Yeah.
Yeah, Rascal Flats. Yeah.
You know who else got them in the last year or two? Big J Okerson.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pay attention. I haven't seen him since his last special we did.
Yeah.
All right. I have to check that out.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to get him at some point. I don't have teeth. I
I
got
think
little tiny baby chiclets. I grind them away to nothing.
grind at night.
Oh, bad. I got to use a mouth guard. My dentist
Sure.
got made me get a mouth guard, and then it's like plastic or plasticky,
Mhm.
and they can make them different thicknesses.
Mhm.
And it was too thin. I bit through it in the middle of the night. That's when I was like, "Oh man, this is bad." I like bit through
Wow.
grinded through the mouth guard. That's supposed to
Yeah.
stop you from doing that. So I had to go
Well,
back and get a thicker one.
okay.
That bad boy works. Um, but yeah, if I had the money, I would get my teeth. Like I'd get my teeth done just so my smile's a little bigger because I don't have lips. So maybe you could see my teeth when I smile instead of I don't have an upper lip. It's totally gone. So we were talking about that at the bar the other day. Like I have to have a mustache because I don't have a lip, so I have to have something up there.
I totally feel you. I feel like my face without some kind of beard on it is
Yeah.
just atrocious.
Oh,
I
that
like
looks so dumb, clean shaven.
there are pictures. There are pictures of me from 15 years ago when I was 120 pounds.
That don't look as bad. You look
But
normal
but my
there.
face looks fatter without a beard on it for some
I
reason.
don't understand that. I feel the same way with a beard, being fat, I look skinnier in the face than I do when I shave my face.
A beard does wonders for us, you know? It's a good thing.
This is about as long as this beard's been in a really long time, too.
It's getting there.
I got to clean this sun gun out.
Yeah.
It's time.
Get you a shape up.
Yep. I gotta get to the barber, man. It's been over a month since I've been to the barber. It's got a lot of stuff I got to do, bud. A lot of stuff. Anyway,
You'll get it in.
anyway. All right. So we got Adam Sandler, Love You. We've got Earth, Wind, and Fire songs on the Mount Rushmore.
Next week might be the best podcast we've ever had because aside from those two things, which are like two of my favorite things in the world,
Yeah.
the third favorite thing of mine in the world, Andre Edwards is going to be with us next week.
Oh, I didn't even know this. This is dropped on me. Let's go.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, this is
That's
gonna be-
why you went to music for the Mount
This is it.
Rushmore.
Oh, actually,
yeah,
that's gonna be
you
perfect.
totally played into our guest.
That's gonna
Well
be perfect.
done. No, totally makes sense now. You played into Andre. I'm gonna get a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. That way, Andre feel real good about what we pick.
I gotta remember to text him and tell him.
I know, yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, that is gonna work out
Nice.
great.
That's good. I can't wait. We got a
You
lot
and
of
I
angles.
almost went to an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert together.
I
like a couple
wonder
years
why
ago.
you chose Earth, Wind, and Fire for the Mount Rushmore.
Okay. Because I remember I texted because I had tickets. I just bought tickets because I wanted to go and I didn't talk to anybody about going. And then something, I think my girlfriend at the time would have gone and then we broke up or something like that. And then so I texted him and I was like, hey, do you like Earth, Wind, and Fire? And he's like,
Yeah.
he said something like, am I a middle-aged black man? Or something like that. He's like, of course I do. I was like, all right, touche.
That's funny.
I too am a middle-aged black man. So I guess we both like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes. So yes, that'll work out perfect. I wonder if he likes Adam Sandler. Maybe I should tell him to watch that.
He'd have to be on the whole podcast.
I know, yeah, that's true. He's like, we really have to start at 10:30.
We can start earlier. 100%. We can start earlier.
I'll tell him we'll
Yeah.
shoot for like 10 or
100%.
something.
We can go 9:30. We can go as early. I mean, I like to do it.
I want you to be able
towards
to
the
get your
end.
kids in bed and all that
It's-
kind of
that
stuff.
I'll make sure that I lay down with it's the girls is the only problem now. We still got to lay down with the girls before they go to bed. So,
That's
but it can be Aaron's night on Wednesday.
whatever you want to do. But I'll tell him
9:30.
I'll tell him we're moving it up for him.
Let's do like 9:30. That way they go to bed at 9:30. I can help with brushing teeth because that's when all the whining starts. We'll get them upstairs, come downstairs.
We're gonna say 9:30. I'm gonna tell him it's gonna be 9:45.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Like it. All right. That sounds good.
Excellent.
All right. So yeah, there you go. Till next week. Don't forget to turn your headlights on.